Hi guys, so this video is going to be about what to grow specifically in my area, I guess, Zone 10A, San Diego, for the fastest abundance that you could possibly get. So first on the list, this is not going to be in any particular order whatsoever. It's just going to be kind of what trees are closest in no order. So starting off, Jamaican cherry. This Jamaican cherry is about 2 to 3 years. I got it online. Really fast grower. And right now when it's this size, it pretty much has fruit on it all year. Right now it's winter time, so the fruit's kind of sparse, but I mean, it's still enough to eat for like every day if you're just eating it yourself. But as soon as spring comes around, the whole entire tree is just loaded with fruits. And every day it's just loads and loads of fruit on the ground. So that's the first one. Okay, next on the list is any type of mulberry. This one specifically is an everbearing mulberry. So it's an in-between sweet to tart flavor. That's probably my favorite. Next is Pakistan. But I prefer this one just because I like sour and tartness. So yeah, this thing's really fast growing. You can propagate it really easily through air layering or cuttings. And it fruits like crazy. As soon as spring comes around, it'll just start popping out and grow really, really fast. So I have about 15 to 20 of these on the property. That just shows you how prolific it is. And I mean, I give it to the chickens, I eat it, and I freeze it, make jams, jellies, sherbet, all kinds of different things. So the next one is an ice cream bean. I actually grew this from a seed that I tried it from Exotica, and it took about 2 to 3 years to fruit. Most tropical trees fruit really fast when you grow them from seed. But yeah, the fruit's really interesting. It's like a cottony vanilla flavor, kind of like a very mild flavor, very small hint of sweetness. But it grows really fast, and it's actually a nitrogen fixer. So it's perfect for any like food forest or interplanting type of tree to create protection. So right next to the ice cream bean is our fig. This is the oldest fig. Figs grow really fast. They propagate through cutting really easily. I mean, there's not really too much to say about figs, but if you like them, I would definitely grow one. Very prolific and very fast growing. So this one's actually a papaya. This one's a seedling that I grew. It's pretty tall. They'll grow from seed, or you can buy them from the store, depending on the variety you get. Sometimes you'll want to have multiple just to get better fruit set. Papaya is not actually a tree, but it grows really fast, and it's perfect for any sort of a fast, abundant food forest type of atmosphere. Next one on the list is actually a vegetable. This is a tree collard. My tree collards and collards and everything, they've all hybridized and made their own kind of you can see they're just different because they go to seed and they cross-pollinate. They propagate really easily from cuttings. I'll just do cuttings every year and just spread them out around the property. Really abundant as soon as you start growing it, and they'll just start cross-pollinating with everything. The kale, curly kales, and you'll get some really interesting differences. I have some more over here. Yeah, they're just all over the place. Like, see, this is more of a walking stick kale style. There you go. So bananas grow really fast here. Their fruit sets are hit or miss sometimes, I've found. Kind of depends on how you feed them and how you water them. But I use them also to feed my animals, or just to create more of a shelter for other trees. And they grow really fast, and you can propagate them through pups. So you just split them up, dig them up, and move them around the property, wherever you want to plant them, and they grow really fast. If you don't want them to get as much wind damage, you can plant them in a more protected area and just watch them grow. So this next one is a loquat. This tree actually self-seeds the easiest, I find, in my location. You'll see wherever there's a loquat, you'll find random seedlings and if you're around, but they fruit pretty heavily, and they really pretty tree, evergreen. Really interesting flavor. There's all kinds of different varieties. There's orange ones, white ones. Big Jim's pretty popular. I forgot what variety this is, but it's really sweet. And right next to that is one of our guayabas. This is actually specifically a white guayaba, semi-tropical. In my environment, part of the year they look kind of ugly. As you can see, they're a little sparse, and their leaves kind of get yellowish and reddish, brownish, kind of just start flaking around. But as soon as spring comes out, they'll flesh out new growth, and they're really tasty. There's a lot of different varieties, Malaysian reds, whites, pinks. I also have the strawberry, the lemon, and pineapple. Those are actually really good, but they're a lot smaller. The tree is a lot smaller, so if you want a smaller variety, I would get one of those, and you can kind of just plant them in between things. This next one is any kind of interspecific hybrid. So this specific one is the, what's it called? I forgot, I gotta look at the tag. Spicy nectar plum. This one grows the fastest for me for some reason out of all the interspecifics. But the cool thing about the interspecifics and why I put it on this list is because it's not like a regular peach tree or a plum, and it'll hold its fruit longer on the tree. So in a food forest situation, or where you're trying to like be as self-sufficient as possible, it helps a lot when like you don't have to kind of deal with all the fruit at one time, and your fruit sets spread out throughout the whole season. This one is white sapote. I have 2 of these. They grow really fast. The cool thing about this is you won't really find them in stores because they don't ship really well. As soon as they start ripening, they'll just fall off the tree. But they do ripen, and like they don't all ripen at the same time, so you don't have to worry about like a peach, the same thing. Very interesting flavor, like kind of like a mild vanilla pudding. You can freeze them. Sometimes I'll freeze them, I'll scoop them out, put them in a container and freeze it. But a lot of times I just like to enjoy them fresh. Right next to the sapote, right in the middle of the main food forest area, is the guamuchil, another nitrogen fixer. Really big. I like it as a canopy tree because you can see how sparse it is. Kind of like it creates a shady atmosphere, but it still lets light in. This tree's I think from Mexico. Very interesting fruit. It's a little bit one of those fruits that you kind of have to get used to if you're not used to like eating it. But I still like it. Then this, yeah, right now it looks kind of ugly, but this is a moringa tree. Every season or every year I prune it back just to survive easier during the winter. And the branches are pretty thin, and so if you prune it back, the branches will get hardier and thicker. But I have a lot of these moringa trees all around. I use them as animal feed. They flower like crazy, so the bees love it. It's one of the most nutritious, if not the most nutritious green you can possibly eat. We dry it, we powder it, and we put it in our food, smoothies, you name it. We just put it in. This next one is the pomegranate. This one's a wonderful variety. I have a couple other varieties, but that's kind of the most generic variety you'll find. They grow really fast, they're drought tolerant. You can prune them into a tree or a bush, so they're pretty adaptable in that way. They fruit really heavy. You can pick the fruits before they crack, and so they last longer. So I'll do that, and I'll pick some when they haven't cracked yet, and then I'll eat the ones as they crack, so they're the most ripe. And then the last one on the list is actually a fruiting vine. It's a passion fruit. So this is actually one whole vine. It used to go all the way around, but a new one took over And so it kind of is drowning out the other one that died. They only live for about 5 to 7 years, but it's not a big deal because you just replant it. Most of the time they'll actually replant themselves. But with just one of these things, you'll have hundreds of fruit, depending on how you water and how you fertilize. I have a couple of them around the property. They're actually pretty expensive when you buy them in the store. They're anywhere from like $2 to $3 to $4 sometimes. So not too many people know about passion fruits or how they grow, but it's really interesting fruit, and I would definitely recommend that. So that was the list for what I would recommend to create the most abundance in the least amount of time, or just, you know, if you want a faster growing tree or drought tolerant. Most of these are all drought tolerant, fast growing, and very prolific trees, vegetables, whatever. If you guys have any other suggestions, put them down in the comments. Obviously, depending on where you live, there's always going to be certain trees that do better in other areas. So for in my area, this is what I would recommend. What do you want, Jerry? Till next time.